congo.
Hey, what's going on? What's cranking, good people? Back for another edition of the Chief and Go. Special guest on tonight's episode goes by the name of Lil Boogie. You might know her as the congo player, percussionist from Pleasure Band, and now percussionist of the BelaDona Band. We have a lot of history together. Came from went to the same high school. Came from the same camp record label, Sound by Charlie Thump Records. And you in for a good conversation. I'm your host, Chief Dizzle for Shizzle for Sheezy for Show, the cheat code, Mr. All of the Above, Mr. Chief, keep it brief and all that, right? So without any further ado, I'm going to bring Lil Boogie in here because she's on time. You know what I'm talking about? Because you see, we learned that in the camp we came through, you got to be on time. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all share this with some friends. Share it on your page. We on YouTube at GoGo Loops TV, Lux Radio YouTube, Facebook, Felix Chief Stevenson, GoGo Loops on IG, Roku TV. If you got your Roku, you can go tune into your Lux Radio channel and catch it there. So we going live, y'all. I'm going to bring Lil Boogie in. And we're going to get this thing started. Sister.
Hi. Hey, bruh.
Hey, Boogie. How you doing?
I'm good. Good afternoon.
That's good. That's good. What you doing today? Y'all not practicing or nothing tonight?
No, our rehearsals are usually on Tuesdays.
Oh,
so
okay.
we rehearsed already this week, so Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to catch you in between rehearsals.
Right.
So yeah, man. I said, man, I gotta talk to Lil Boogie because it's a lot of stuff that I'm sure we kind of have in common. And
right.
I just like to talk to people and get their story. And I've saw the interview you did with T-Mod, I think a while ago, was good. And I was like, yeah, I think it's time for Boogie to for us to talk. It's a different angle.
Exactly.
With our history, and then what you're doing now, your new endeavors. So I want to start first with, where did you catch the musical bug and realize you wanted to play an instrument?
Well, as I say on all the interviews or any podcast or anything that I did, I always tell everyone, starting, we call it SPC crew, C Pleasant crew, back in the C Pleasant days. I was 5 or 6 years old. My best friend, her name is Rosalind, but her nickname was Putt, and she was a drummer.
Okay.
And me and her was 5 or 6 years old. Like I said, her brothers, they grew up playing with Quality Class, Air Raid, all those bands back then, but they had a gospel group together. Their father played an instrument, and she had like 5 brothers and 4 sisters. But they all played in the basement down at her house, and everybody in the neighborhood around C Pleasant knew where to go to hear music or listen to music. So that's where everybody started at. And me and her, we were 5 or 6 years old listening to her brothers. They used to practice for church. And then after church, they had their friends come over and they played for, like I said, different bands, Class Quality, Air Raid, all the bands back then. And so, me and her used to play around with the instruments, and she always jumped on the drums and I always jumped on the congos, and that's how we started. And we were like 5 or 6 years old.
Wow. What's her name? Putt? What'd you say?
Rosalind is her real name. Putt is her nickname.
Okay.
But Lord, you know her, Lord Tony, who plays drums now, that's her son.
Oh, okay.
And she actually taught him how to play drums.
Tony, Buggy Tony too?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, just making sure. So this off C Pleasant Drive over that way, right? Sugar Shack and all that.
Yes.
So was this before Earl? Earl had his situation. Remember, Earl used to do PA. Earl Warren. This ain't.
It might have been around the time. You know who you have to ask? WAP, because WAP used to be in the basement. He was playing back then at the time before Wisdom Speak and all that came out. He was playing with Air Raid Class and all. He's playing the sax or the horns. One up.
Okay. Yeah, I hear those names.
That's my big brother right there too.
Definitely, that's my guy right there. I was always wondering that because you got a certain skill, your hand, you know what I'm saying? It take a little time, repetition of smacking them joints to know how to really hit them. And I was wondering, did you start, like right before Pleasure, or did you have some experience? And you said 5, 6 years old. So
I was
happened for a minute.
5, 6 years old. I was pity patting. But once I got Pleasure, of course, I had to do some work. I had to put wristbands, wear wristbands on my what you call these things?
Ankle weights on your wrist. That's what you mean, right?
On my wrist. Yeah, I had to put wristbands on my wrist. I practiced. Oh my God, when Pleasure practiced, we had to practice all day. So I had to practice with them on it.
Yeah.
So, and then also like Shawnee Baby, that played drums, who in California now doing her thing. I'm so proud of her. She had to wear, the same things on the weights on her ankles to make sure she kicking them drums right.
Right.
So
and some Timberlands. We used to wear Timbs too.
Oh no. She hadn't put no boots on.
Yeah, no, I mean that was like the poor man's way if you ain't had the ankle weights, because it's so heavy, it help your ankle, and it ain't a lot of ankle room, so it make you work for it. And now I be Nike boots because I'm back getting my stamina again, and them Nike them joints real heavy, so with them. So but when Pleasure, right? So what year did Pleasure start? About 89?
I believe so. Well, actually, we were in the studio practicing for a whole year before we came out.
Right. So I got ahead of myself. Wait a minute, because we started talking about the you know what I'm saying, the training. What years did you go to Blade?
Oh my God. Ooh. Was I believe 83, 84, I believe.
Okay.
I'm not sure because I went to Crossland first.
Right.
And then I ended up going to Bladensburg, and then I went back to Crossland.
Okay. So I was just wondering, that Charlie had a house right there when y'all went, when you were going to Blade?
Yeah. You talking about the house that caught on fire? Yeah. Yes. At that time, he had the house.
Okay. Yeah, I just trying to get some perspective on the time, some context. Because I came in 90, and we knew Lil Boogie went to Blade, and you know what I'm saying, rapping and Kurt, and it, we used to be Sice. So I just wanted to, I was wondering about that, and we kind of heard about Charlie at some point, in our beginnings when we had our bands at the school. Okay, so did when you went to Pleasure, did y'all audition? How did you get into Pleasure?
Okay, so my best friend who I was telling you about, she played drums. So her sister, like I said, she had 3 sisters. So it was 4 of them all together, 4 sisters and like 5 brothers. Her older sister, her name they call her Monkey. That was her nickname. She was a DJ. She was a female DJ for the DMV. And she used to DJ at Dave's Liquor Store off of, it used to be called, before it was MLK, I forgot what the name of the street was called, before it was called MLK. But anyway, Dave's is right there in Landover.
Okay.
So she used to DJ there, but her and Charlie were good, close friends. And, she told him that, my little sister and her best friend, I think they are good for, bringing them out to be musicians. They play all the time in the basement after my brothers and them get off, and their band, be practicing, they get off. It's like, I think you should look into them, because that's when he told her that he was starting an all-female girl band, and he's gonna name it Pleasure. So she was like, "This, you should, if you're looking for young girls too, them two, you should definitely look into them too. I see them practicing and playing around, and it's a good look, you know, if you don't have what you need." So, yeah.
Okay. And so y'all went in, and he already had the idea, you know, when he was starting it, and y'all kind of came in.
Well, actually, we were down there playing around. You know, we were playing around, and she brought him down in the basement, and that's when he's like, "Oh, okay." He was like, "Wait a minute, I need a congo, female congo player. I want her." He was like, "I already have a drummer," which was a bummer because I wanted my best friend. Me and her started together as we were little, and I was like, you know, but her sister was like, you know, it's no hard feelings and nothing, just do it. You know what I'm saying? Go. You know, see what it's like, and you know, and see what you think. And so, and then I was like, okay. And she was fine with it, my best friend. So
yeah, try it out. So
right. But I didn't audition. I mean, he just came down and he was just looking. He's like, oh, okay. So, you know, but she needs some training, but we can train her. And when you say training, that's what I mean, the wrist weights came on.
The boot camp.
The boot camp.
Was Shawnee the drummer that was already there?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. He already had a drummer. So he had got her from Duke Ellington. Shawnee went to Duke Ellington. Duke Ellington High School. So you know, he was looking for, that's when he's putting pieces together. And so that's when, yeah, her sister was like this, and which is like my sister too, my older sister. He was like, you need to look at these little girls here. And they, you know, they little and they're playing already, you know. So
right. Good segue. You said Duke Ellington. My cousin was in a group of dancers called the Showbiz Kids, right?
Oh, okay.
Joyce Moso, the dance, like a dance instructor, real popular in the DMV. And I would go to, you know, some of his rehearsals for the shows and things they were doing. So one year, this had to be like 91, 92. They were doing a show called Black Reflections. And I would go to the rehearsals and things like that. I'm just starting to get on the drums, see the drums, and I could play a little bit. So when the band is, because it was like a whole band playing old music, and it was a whole situation, dance and culture and, you know, history. And so I'd be in there playing the drums. I had the little girls, and they were like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I just remember that time was precise. It was this little one chick I liked. She went to Duke too. So anyway, they said Pleasure is going to close this show. I don't know if you remember this, called Black Reflections. It was a Black History Month show.
Right.
So I think that like the dress rehearsals and something was at Taft, maybe. I don't know why I'm putting it at Taft. Because I think the main show was at Duke. I know the main show was at Duke, but I think maybe the dress rehearsals at Taft. One of these places, okay. I'm there. Y'all coming to run through. I'm hanging around the back door, okay. So I see y'all coming. And at this time, I think y'all on Jukebox, right? I don't know if that was Go Live or that show that y'all DJ Cool, you know, they was playing the videos.
Right.
Come home from school and be size 2 fly 25. That joint used to give me hype because it was Pleasure. And it just seemed Blade, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I had an association or you know what I'm saying? Y'all was close. But I opened the door, you and Shawnee walking up. She had the snare. And I don't know if you had a high Congo or some stick bag, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't much. But I remember opening the door like, hey, and y'all was like, oh, thank you, little man. You so handsome. You gonna be a heartbreaker. Thank you. You so sweet and all this. I think I said, I carry the drum for you, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm into the drums and I know who y'all are. But that was always a cool moment. I said, man, I gotta tell Boogie about that. Y'all was coming through the back door, went up the steps. And then so for the show, when y'all performed, y'all did like one song just to end it. My little brother was like 5 or 6, and Joyce had 2 sons the same age. So they were standing in front of y'all like bodyguards. And then they did like a Running Man joint and went off the stage. So but that's my pleasure memory of you and Shawnee.
No, I do remember that.
Real, that's crazy. And I be trying to think what's the age difference, because y'all I feel like y'all was like, oh, you gonna be nice, they gonna watch out for you. But I could be making that up. But I just remember older women saying that back in the day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful now, but
exactly.
I really like them. A big part of me wanting to play was them jukebox joints. And like I said, y'all was one of my favorite. Y'all was one of my favorite joints. So now let's get to that boot camp. Right? So you got Roy, Charlie, getting y'all together, y'all like a secret and all that, and then 3-hour days, damn near every day. How far do you think, or fast, how much help was Roy and y'all's advancements? Because see, now I know y'all was both kind of playing already.
Wait a minute. So you said 3-hour days?
Yeah, we would have some 3-4 hour days, depending on if it was summer. Like y'all wasn't practicing.
No, we practice all day, morning to night. It'd be like 10 o'clock at night, and we came in at 11 o'clock in the morning. 7 days a week.
Oh, okay.
For a whole year.
No, I mean in the beginning it was tough. It was tough. Like I said, in the summer, I'm sure it was some all day joints, because we had Ned too, and they wasn't playing with us. So look, that I might have blocked that part out, but yeah, long hours is the point, right?
Right.
To the condition, the stamina, to build the calluses, all that stuff. While they giving you the philosophy, Charlie giving you the philosophy, in the ride over there, or what I'm saying, after with the meeting. God damn it, when motherfuckers gonna be on that, motherfucker. Right. He say, man, I had my wife come in here when the lead talkers was messing up. So I had my wife would come in here and have everybody in the crowd sitting down in this style. All that shit. But no, it's a beautiful thing. I love him for it, but he used to be fun.
You got him down packed, though.
Huh?
I said you got him down packed.
Oh yeah,
just like him. Go ahead.
That's my man. But yeah. So we do have that in common, like being trained by Roy and Charlie, and understanding, learning a lot about the business and things like that. And I saw you said that it was like a secret when y'all was coming out, because it was like the first all-girl band. So he wanted to, he's a strategist, he got his plan and the way he want to do stuff.
Yeah.
But I remember that too. So 89, about a year y'all practice getting, building it up. When was the first, you remember the first show? Where, I mean?
So the first show was at Evans Grill. So if people don't know about Evans Grill, it was a pool hall with older men, younger men, hustlers, whatever. I don't want to go into all the other stuff, but it was a pool hall. They people met and did what they did and all that, but it was a lot of men in there, and it was just like wow. And then of course, when we get out the van, we going in a straight line, like we in the army, past while they shooting pool, and they like, woo, who's these girls? And I'm the littlest one. But we opened up for Hot Cold Sweat. Hot Cold Sweat was the headliners, and that was their show. That was how we play the triples. That was a every night Evans Grill show. The hole in the wall, but the food was the hole in the walls. The food is the bomb and all that. And the stage was small, but it got every band member on the stage.
Right.
But we opened up for them.
Okay. Was Charlie and Roy still playing with them for Sweat?
Roy was, not Charlie.
Okay.
Yeah, not Charlie. Charlie was, managing. It was his bands. So he had us and them.
Okay.
And it was crazy because that was the first show, and that was the first show that we actually came out. And I remember Rocksteady, and I say this to this day, he was so mean sometimes to me because he told Charlie, I'm not putting them congos down for her.
Right.
So
right.
Charlie had to give me a crate, and I had to stand on top of the crate and play congos at Evans Grill.
Yeah, that's tight. That's tight.
So it was crazy, but you know, we did what we had to do. So
yeah. Now them jumps heavy though, especially them big ones to be moving up and down. I mean, you can take them off and move the stand, but you know, you got the little lock, and then you want them to be at your. He could have lowered them joints. Come on, Rocksteady.
Exactly. Exactly. So I was like, oh my God. So Charlie was like, it's okay. I got a crate for you. I had to stand on the crates and I had to play like that. But guess what? I tore it up though that night.
I bet.
I think I look better playing on top of the crates than at my level.
Right. Looking at them Jones like.
Yeah, that was funny. And then the ceiling was because I was on the crates, but as tall as I was on the crates, Rocksteady was that tall. So you can actually touch the ceiling at the Evans Grill. And so he used to touch the ceiling and dance around it and playing the at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that. And like
I
just talked to Big Butch last week. He was like, yeah, the Hugbucks, I got y'all first show at Evans Grill. And I don't know if I was there, but I left for a second in the beginning. I got cut. And Chew was playing for a second, and then I came back. But so Evans Grill, what was I about to ask you? Oh, so when y'all came in, did he get y'all a run out like, okay, 3 months I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna have y'all some magazine articles, what we gonna drop it like this and do the PA tape 6 months? Yeah. And did it pretty much happen on like that? Maybe not exactly. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it happened because we were in Sister to Sister magazine. Nobody knows Go-Go Band ever been in Sister to Sister magazine. Sister to Sister magazine is big. So I don't have my magazine no more, but Tasha, we call her Fingers, and used to play for pleasure. She has she the only one who kept her magazine because everybody used to steal everything I had. So
right. You was around SPC.
Huh? Right. So like all the celebrities that we perform with, Big Daddy Kane, Kwame, and all them, all my pictures are gone. So anyway, but she in my magazine. So yeah, we were in Sister. He got us in Sister to Sister magazine. Our own article and picture and everything. Yeah. And at the time, I think we had on Sergio Tacchini sweatsuits. That's when Sergio Tacchini was out that day. Or was it Van Crack? You remember Van Crack? DC Scorpio came out with that. So, or his production, or somebody did. But anyway, we had the shoes, the sweatsuit. But we took pictures in some of them sweatsuits. But it's in Sister to Sister magazine. I can't remember which year, but I have to get the magazine from her. She the only one that got her left.
Yeah, take a picture and just send it.
Right.
A picture of it. But then y'all had the bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair. Y'all kept them
Yeah.
Yeah, probably like the Reebok Princess or classics with the sweatsuit. Yeah, I remember them days. I was a youngin', but I remember riding around the red van.
Right.
Pleasure, and did it say sweat on it too? Never said the Hugbucks, but it said pleasure that we was taking y'all leftovers.
Right, but it was coming.
We was psyched. Yeah, we was psyched to be in that joint. We was psyched, man. So okay, y'all cranking. You put the tape out. It's the green joint, right?
Yes.
I've been talking. I go talk to Charlie, and lately he been pulling that. It's sitting right there in his drawer. He be like, "See, this is what I go back to." When I look at this shit and I say, "This where it started." You know what I'm saying? He that's his pride and joy. He be like, when I need to remember, like I need to get on motivated, he pulls that joint out. He be like, this shit right here. You remember this? Yeah. I'll be like, yeah, Charlie. I remember. So, what do you think about him putting the pleasure to none of them and the pleasure together? Or have you heard?
I heard. I've been past it. I've been talking to him.
Right.
Yeah. He wants me to help him out with some things. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how far it's gonna go. It's so many bands out now. It's more bands than it was back then, and he needs to think about that. When I say it's more bands than it was back then, everybody and their mama got a band together. The father, the grandfather, everybody got a band together. And so it's a lot of bands out here, and I don't know how far it's going to go. He did ask me for my help, and I told him I would help him. I have no problem with that, you know. But I don't know. We'll see.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel about it too. It's like,
yeah, we'll see.
A brand, a hell of a brand, but when you got, I mean, just BelaDona right there doing the type of things BelaDona doing. It's like, how do you, you know? And then it's hard to find musicians that wanted it like we wanted it, and train them.
Right.
I know he's been going through some, you know, struggles with some of the girls with that. So.
And he's going to continue to go through struggles. So because it's not like it was back in the day. Pretty much.
Was you and Shawnee close?
Yes, we was.
Okay.
Always been close.
Okay. Yeah, I was coming through the door that day, so you know, and then drum and congo play a lot of times, you know, chemistry. So always wondered about that.
I was always her little sister, her little baby sister. So
yeah.
She always told me so.
Yeah, she doing her thing. Her grandmother was working with my mother, and I would hear she on tour with Miley Cyrus, or she doing tour with this person, or Hillary Duff, and you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, Hillary Duff. Yeah.
She's been working this whole time. So
right. She actually back then when she was started playing with Hillary Duff, she actually called me and asked me to come out to California with her. And I said, "Are you crazy?" That's when I adopted. I haven't had no children, but I adopted my child. My oldest child, and I was like, no, I can't. Even my mother chimed in and was like, no, she's not going out there. Not all the stuff I hear was going on.
Right.
Yeah.
How about that? I count my blessings. I'd be like, you know, you used to want certain stuff when you was young, and then God protected you because you would have been out there. Yeah, as a youngin', probably cutting up.
Yeah.
You know, in too deep.
Yeah, and I'm the fun, friendly one. So I know I would have been, you know, out there, and she would have been like this, no, and you know, you know, just friendly with everybody. So I know, God did protect me from going out there.
Yeah, you do seem very bubbly and fun loving, and she seems like she kind of can stay out of trouble.
Yeah, she does. Okay. I can tell you about that. I'll tell you about her. Yeah, she stays out of trouble. She don't all that crazy stuff. She don't do none of that stuff. She's real serious and love her to death, but she's real serious and she's not with all that crazy stuff. So
yeah, and she played them drums serious.
Yes.
That posture is serious. She still got that same posture. Yeah, that helped you to last through the night. Charlie used to get on me, man. You ain't sitting. You gotta sit like Daryl and them sit.
That comes from the boot camp.
Yeah,
the boot camp that we went through.
Yeah, we used to be at them 95 degrees outside. We outside, and back then they ain't have shade on a lot of them stages. You just be in the sun, cranking.
Right.
But yeah, I learned a lot, man, from both of them. You know what I mean? But Marky is asking me, of course, I was gonna get into the salt and pepper thing and Herbie Love Bug. But he's saying Marky said ask you about taking the Congos to New York and you know, playing with salt and pepper. So how did that situation? Yeah, let's just talk about when Herbie Love Bug came down and got some of y'all and you know did the salt and pepper and the kid and play thing, right? Now I saw you say it on a T-Mont joint that you didn't go.
Right.
You was the only one didn't go. I was talking to Charlie the other day. He was like, yeah, Boogie would have went, but they fired her. And I'm like, so, and you know, I love him, but sometimes I feel like he get confused with stuff because I'm like, I heard Boogie say she was loyal. So I'm like, are you loyal or are you lying? Let's clear it up on the TV go.
Yeah, Charlie, yeah, he is getting a little confused these days. No, because I was so close to Charlie, I was like his daughter, pretty
Yeah,
much.
he says that too all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they were doing secret stuff, with them, Herbie Love Bug, Salt and Pepper, whoever they were talking to, their camp, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
They was like, okay, so we can't take Boogie because she's going to end up probably telling Charlie what's going on. They didn't want Charlie to know what was going on.
Right. That makes sense.
That's what happened. And then secondly, I was still in school. I was the only one that was in school. Everybody was graduated or whatever they did. But I was still in school. And my mother definitely wasn't going to let me go. And then my mom put me in the hands of Charlie. So she definitely would have been like, no, you can't go. And I know they wanted to take me, but I was the only one that was really like so close to Charlie that, you know what I'm saying? He birthed me.
Right.
So
right.
That's what happened. No, they couldn't fire me. They don't run Pleasure or whatever.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Maybe he was talking about Herbie and them, but I'm like, why would they do that? Because
I didn't know.
That wouldn't even make sense. They would come down to cut one person, but that makes sense what you're saying, because like you said, he do talk about you all the time, and I just do this, and I would pick Boogie up, and Boogie is just like my daughter, man. I looked at her, a certain way, and and be like, yeah, just what you said. So, and that's what I'm saying about living there and being at the house. Because I think the house was burned down by the time we were there,
right?
But he would still get us from school. We'd catch the bus, and he'd take us to Chuck's, and we'd be on field trips with him and stuff like that. Before we kind of got all the way into it, but yeah, he mentions that he's very fond of Lil Boogie. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, because he probably kept your ass out of some trouble.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, no boys, that don't even try to talk to her. And as soon as I go say in the band, right. So yeah.
Wow. Hey man, that's pretty cool. So y'all played for, I don't know. Like I said, I think I was in the van. We went to a Berry Farms Day or something. I might have been in the van one or two shows. So like who was playing, I think, Herndon High School. Y'all did a couple. And next thing I know, Pleasure was gone. Precise was popping up. What happened internally, and around what year was that, if you remember?
I can't remember the year, but that's around the time where that Michelle and all them, they went with Salt and Pepper, Herbie Love Bug. I started playing with Miss Mac Female Band, and we was opening up. Well, we played Wilmer's Park, opening up for Essence and whoever else was down Wilmer's Park at the time. And then that's when Precise was out. I can't even remember the year though.
Clicks.
And then,
Clicks. You played with Clicks?
No, not Clicks.
Okay.
No, Miss Mac came out with another female band. It started with an M, something. It started with an M. But I played with them for a minute because she asked me to come, play with them. We opened up at Women's Park a couple of times for Essence and them big shows that we used to do, like the Capitol Center. Women's Park was a big thing too. It was like a big show with all the bands and stuff. So I did that. I'll say for about a couple of months, and then Charlie popped up. Like, I'm getting Pleasure back together, and that's when we came with the second Pleasure.
Oh,
yeah.
Because one was Ivy, and then one was Michelle.
Ivy was third.
Oh, she was at the end. So Michelle was the first two.
Michelle was the first Pleasure. The second Pleasure was Marion Tam. Marion Tam, she's from Stone Ridge, Minnesota Avenue. She's the one who's on the Christmas album. That was the second Pleasure.
Okay.
And then we came after Marion passed away. We had to end up getting somebody else said that was the third Pleasure. When I say third Pleasure, because Ivory came in, and then we had to get LaJuan in replace of Candace because Candace died too.
Candace used to play the cowbell and stuff, right?
Yes. So Marion and Tam, she died. Well, Candace died first, and then Marion and Tam. No, I'm sorry. I'm so wrong. Ivory came after Marion, but Candace was still alive when Tam died first, passed away first. And then Candace was still alive, and then Ivory came in because they were, became good friends in the band. And then Candace passed away. So I know it's confusing.
I just never knew that. I kind of remember Candace passing, but I didn't know it was multiple people that passed.
Yes.
We used to be fairly young. That's I ain't know that. That's tough.
And then and then as recently now, Ivory has passed away 2 months ago. So
where's Michelle?
Michelle, she's a minister. She has a church and everything.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so she's not even into none of this.
Yeah.
Devil music. So no, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Into the music.
Her and Lord Joey.
It's not devil music. I'm just playing. But no, she's a minister. I'm pretty sure she's into music in her church. Believe me. But she's a minister though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you said you adopted your daughter, right? Is your daughter, right? I think I know.
My oldest daughter. I have 2 daughters.
Okay. Both of them adopted?
My second one, I had her at 36 years old.
Okay.
By my adopted daughter's father.
What? That's pretty cool.
So my oldest daughter, when I met him, her mother gave her to me to adopt her because she was having, some problems. I don't want to talk about it, that's her business. Yeah. But she gave it to me. She was going on 9-10 months or something like that. But yeah, it was some issues, with her going on. And she asked me and I took her, so she's my oldest daughter. She's 25 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's around the time you weren't playing with anybody for
right. That's when I stopped playing. I started working at restaurant Fridays. I actually got a job because I wasn't, the band, we was making money 7 days a week and royalty checks, right? Off of CDs and stuff. That's and tapes and stuff that were being played on the radio and being sold. So we was making big money. But I ended up, settling down and got a job, and I was working at Fridays, bartending. Then I became a manager, and I was doing both at the same time, bartending and managing. And the Fridays on 12th Street first, and then 21st in Pennsylvania, Northwest. So, and at the time, that's when I started hearing all these bands that were outgrown and sexy bands and stuff coming. I was like, oh, okay. And then they like, but you need to no, I'm good where I'm at. I'm raising a little girl, and I'm good. I was content where I was at. So I was hearing a lot when I was down, chilling for a minute.
Right.
And it was crazy because I was like, oh, the Maisha and Hip Huggers and then what is it? Not Vibe, but
Listen.
That's what subtle. Yeah, Listen. All them. Yeah, that's when they came out. At the time, I was, down and just chilling and working.
Right. Like early 2000s, 2005.
Yeah.
10, right. And that's when that grown and sexy era seemed to, get popular. Maisha was a little, might be 99.
Right.
Yep. So when did the call come for BelaDona?
Well, now I need to back it up because I didn't even tell you before I even met my father's children. I was married at the time and I moved to Florida. So I was in Florida for almost 2 years. I was in Orlando, Florida for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had a house out Florida, me and my ex-husband at the time. And then you know, then we came back. I had moved back to my apartment around Trinidad, Northeast, and you know, back at Fridays again. And then, you know, and that's when I end up, you know, dealing with my baby father. Sorry, messing with my baby father. So I'm sorry, father of my children. We stop saying baby father. We need to stop saying it. Father of my children. And then like later on after that, started hearing all that, and then I got the call from, you said Maisha, right? Oh, BelaDona.
BelaDona.
Because Maisha called, well, Juju and Maisha called me to play with them. And this is around now, I always remember this date, not the exact date, but when the Sniper came out.
Oh,
yeah, because we had rehearsal at Maisha's house. I tell everybody that that's the night we had when they was looking for him, and I think that's when they caught him that night or the next day. But we had practice at Maisha's house. But Juju and Maisha called me to play with them because they were getting Maisha and Hip Huggers back together. But it wasn't Sugar Bear. They added people. Demi Doc, DJ Rico was on the front line, and there was some other people and stuff on the front line. So did that for a minute. This is before BelaDona Cole. So.
Mm-hmm. It was like Tacoma Station. They was gigging up there, right? A lot, or was not that?
No. What is that club down there? It's downtown. Somebody got stabbed, and of course they closed the club up. It's right around the corner from the I Street. It's on the right side. I forgot the name of the club.
Damn. Trying to think why.
But it was like you walk downstairs. You walk downstairs, and then you're in the club. It's like at the bottom. I forgot the name. It was something. But it's off of I Street. You make a right, and it's a lot of people used to play back then.
Like the Galleria, the metro station. Is that what G got stabbed? I seem like I know what you're talking about. You go downstairs, you go around the joint.
Yeah, it's the club down there, but somebody got stabbed. Of course, they closed up. That's what my issue was. We were gigging at there for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, have you ever taught any other female percussionists how to play, or anybody for that matter? But
no. I mean, I would love to, but I mean, I don't think everybody sees my hands and they like, ew, like my children. They was like, and they was like, and I get my nails done and all that. I said, I get my nails are done too, but
right.
But the outside of my hands is terrible. So, you know, everybody like, because I tell them what they got to go through. The bleeding, the calluses, it's rough. It's terrible.
Gino Meyer said this club is called the Escort.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was called that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he probably was playing, so, and you know, he be.
No, I don't think he was playing at the time. It was Demi Doc and somebody else. Yeah. Not when I was with Maisha at that time. I don't think he was playing.
Got you. I don't even know if he played with them. I just know the EU family. You know, I know he.
Right.
I am. So this question I asked folks, what can you give me a time or incident or something about our culture, anything that you feel is out of pocket right now? Something that made it happen to you, something that you see in the culture, something that just, you know, that you feel like it's out of pocket. You be like, man, that's out of pocket.
Too many bands. If you ask me. Y'all messing up my hustle.
They flood the market with bullshit. A bunch of y'all ain't ready. Yeah. Hey, no, that's true. That is true. I mean, and then you got so many bands, and I mean, you know, we all started from the love and our friends and just jamming, but you know, it's a certain time you got to level up and really learn. And you know, we were fortunate enough to have the situation we came into, but you just got to be a student of the game. Because not only was I learning from Charlie and Roy, Blue Eye was around and Funk was around, and he would bring in and whoever to come talk to us. And then, you know, Buggy and Lord, everybody, I'm learning from everybody. but just to know that you need it. No, just to, some people, you don't know what you don't know. Like you out there, you just want to go play every weekend and like you know, a lot of us sound alike, pocket, you know, pocket groove, or, you know, cover pocket, like Chi say socket song, no segues and transitions and the definition of your band, right? When we would play, we could hit a song and Junkyard can hit the same song, but it's gonna be different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
3 or 4 bands, but we kind of had an identity that we all, you know, worked on because we kind of kept them same members. Right. So that those members created that sound. Now you got 2 or 3 people playing with 3 bands or whatever. And I don't knock nobody. I know that the game changed, and you know, it's a business, but it was just a time. At that time, it was just more rich, in my opinion. So I can dig that. All right. So this is my next question. What's a pocket and what's a socket? What's your definition? What do you know it as?
Oh God. Okay. So I was always taught to do it's called a hot beat. That came from Roy. Roy Brown. Do a hot beat. That's boom da boom ga doom ga da boom ga doom ga da boom ga doom ga da. That's a hot beat. A socket is ba da boom boom ga da boom boom.
Yeah.
That's what I was always told.
Yeah. That's crazy because like I don't know where I had my first definition, but it's always been kind of confusing because different people say different things. But I used to kind of be more on that, you know, like I say, the hop or high Congo beat, the pocket. But then over time, it seemed like it was the reverse.
Right.
Socket was the high Congo beat, you know, even just more intense. Right. That socket is, and then you could break it all the way down to the pocket because that's the basic, the 1-1 code or whatever, right? Where y'all from, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I asked Nick, and he's saying the same thing. And then, you know, it always been this just DC pocket. That's a Maryland pocket. That's a D. So I don't know if that got something to do with it. You know, I know you heard that before. Like, oh, them niggas be hitting them Maryland.
Right. Well, there's no such thing. First of all, it's called DMV, Maryland, Virginia, DC. That's the part. So y'all need to stop acting like that. Stop acting crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Second of all, music is music. It starts from our genre of music. So it ain't no difference in who from Virginia, Maryland, DC. It has nothing. Let me tell you something. Class, everybody back then, the pocket was pop. Stop. That was the pop. That's big pop. So everybody that came after them, they don't change the words up. And like I'm saying hop, you know, I'm saying socket, you know, everybody changed the words up. Right. So it's no Virginia, Maryland, DC. We all in one group. I don't know why everybody got a hood, everybody got the same shit going on, the same whatever. Stop. If we all together, if you're a musician, a professional musician, you shouldn't be saying that's a Maryland pocket. No, it has nothing to do with anything.
Right, because it all comes from the motherland, and it's just percussion and rhythm and pattern and frequency and vibration. Don't matter if you're across the street, 10 minutes up the street. I don't know what happened. Your mic got a little, your sound got a little, I don't know if it's buffering or, but yeah, man. So I just thought that was a good question to start asking, especially the percussionists, because like it just be flipped. It's either one or the other. And I was telling Nikki, we need to decide on one because he was like, yeah, when I play with Jump and they call for a socket, I know this. If I'm playing for this band, you know, Northeast, because he was saying how rapper, right? That's a pocket for you on that joint. You know, the hey yo. And I was like, damn, yeah, did he come and kind of switch it up? Because in my mind, around the time y'all came in, Junkyard, there weren't even definitions for, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a specific name for either or, right? Trouble and all, they probably was like pocket beat, right? Put it in the pocket beat. or socket beat. I don't know. It just seemed like that term might have even evolved around that time, around the early '90s anyway. So that might be why it kind of varies depending on who you talk to. But yeah, we need to lock it in, and so we can put it in our go-go dictionary of terms, and everybody could be on the same page,
Right.
on the stage. But no, I thought that was just a cool question to ask. But you were right there with Nikki. Same thing he said. So yeah, I guess BelaDona, because I remember, they was kicking it off, going boop, boop, boop. Then next thing I know, Boogie was in there. I was like, oh stuff. I forget who was there before. Well, Chris was there for a minute. My man Chris was holding it down for a minute, and I know Karis she used to play Soul Patrol with me.
Right.
So, yeah, I've seen her up there, but around what year was that?
I'm sorry, say that again. My volume went out because my phone, I put it on Do Not Disturb, and my daughter's been calling me. So
okay.
My volume, trying to get it back in.
Right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, but once they called, it probably just messed with the sound because it got a little tricky. Right. But I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so what you say about BelaDona? I'm sorry.
What year and how did that happen? Like, how did you get involved with them?
Like I said, when I was bartending and managing their Fridays, I was getting a lot of people, a lot of my fans coming down, and they were going to see the Grown and Sexy bands. And they was like, it's a female band out now called BelaDona, and they playing at that's when they was playing right there in Atlanta, New Carrollton. I'm sorry. The Fonte Blue.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, okay. And they was like, this, you need to, they need you to play. I was like, they don't need me to play. They fine. I wasn't thinking about playing no more. I was like, they fine. I'm good. So they was like, nah, they need you. When I say they need you, when I say a lot of guys was coming down there, they were coming to get drinks, at the bar before they go out to the club. So they was like, the spot is La Fonte Blue. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, well, who also, playing up there? And they was like, Southern Thoughts is up there. I said, oh, okay, at the time. So it was like, I said, no, I'm good. But then I got a call from John, the manager. And then at the time, too, my whole family, I tell everybody this, my whole family played softball. My mother, my father, my uncles, my aunts, all of them. They had softball team in Maryland. And they played all over in Maryland, in leagues and stuff like that. So they had me going out, with them to the games and stuff. So, I started playing softball. And that's how I was playing with 2 softball teams and playing at Fridays at the same time. Working at Fridays at the same time. But I was like, no, I'm good. And then when John called me and I was telling him about the softball, he was like, softball?
You better smack these skins.
Right. He was like, you want to make some extra money? Yeah, ain't no softball. Are you making money in softball? I said, it's not the point of that. My whole family plays. So I have to get some trophies. And I've been watching my mother and father, my uncles and aunts, and them play softball, and they getting trophies and all that. I know how to play softball, so I'm going to play softball on these softball teams. I was playing with co-ed teams, too. So he was like, just laughing, like, this is really funny. Like, I'm talking about making some money playing with the band. And you talking about softball. So anyway, I was like, I said, I don't know about playing in the band. I said, with females, I don't know, I'm not a drama person. So I said, but I don't know about playing with all females. I don't know about that. So I said, we'll see. So he called me, again, and I was like, all right, sure. So that's when I ended up coming to the rehearsal. And then when I came to the first rehearsal, I just vibed in with them, and we just hit it off from there.
Was you playing at home at the time, or you just, you built it back up? I mean, you never leave it.
Yeah, actually, yeah, me, Saki Maki, Kalani, and my boy, we was over his house all the time. Oh my God, why am I forgetting his name? I'm gonna get his name together in a minute. But we all would, practicing just to be practicing. Nobody, I don't think anybody was playing in bands. Oh, TJ Fong, singer. Okay. I know you know who TJ is.
Yeah.
We was over his house, me, Kalani, and Saki Monkey. And he was playing drums and singing, and then me, Kalani, and Saki Monkey, we were practicing on covers and stuff. And I don't know if they were playing in the bands at the time, but we just used to meet over the house, and TJ would cook and stuff like that. And we just be playing around on the instruments and stuff at the time. This is before I started, with BelaDona. Right. So that was on my off time when I wasn't doing anything, working and just off time. I'll go over there, go to TJ house, and we mess around on instruments.
Yeah, I remember one day you was at I came through with it was Tone playing. I think Peanut was there. Goody, remember over there? See Pleasant Goody in the garage, and you came out. I saw you that day. I don't even know why I was there to play congos or help Tone or something. They was right. Goody. That's when Goody was doing. What was it called? His band, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I think you smacked around a little bit that day, but I think that was before BelaDona, if I'm thinking right.
Right.
Yeah. Just wondering, but yeah, you locked right in, and and like you never missed a step. Like definitely one of my favorite Congo players. Especially female Congo players. Like Keisha was nasty, flat out, but
right.
There's something about Lil Boogie that's I don't know. Like I said, I might be biased because we come from the same stomping grounds. But Marky asked about the battle. Did you play in the battle, the Congo battle?
Did I play the Congo with the Kings of Congo battle?
Yeah.
Yeah, what year was that? That's the year I was in. I was in a newspaper. Smoke won, but I was in a newspaper.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a whole
2013, I think.
article. And then Washington Post the next day of me.
Damn, that's tight. Probably wasn't Style, or was it the front page?
It was in the Styles.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's tight. That's tight. So, I mean, like, what are your future plans? I know you're playing with BelaDona. Do you plan to record, some music or do anything like that? Tour?
Well, Bella, we plan to record soon. But I don't want to tell no information, But we plan to record soon together. I like to do stuff with my band, not just by myself. But also, I do want to do a collaboration percussion album with Lil Mick and Lonnie. We played at that Lacoste restaurant, which is happening now in Camp Springs.
Okay.
With the it was the Unplugged band.
Mm-hmm.
Or am I saying that wrong?
I've been hearing about them. Yeah, I think it's Unplugged.
The plug-in band.
Oh,
but we did a video. We didn't do a video. It was filmed while we were performing. And when I had came up there that one Thursday, and all three of us, I mean, the way that everything was locked in together while I was playing the congos with them two, it was amazing. And it sounded good. And the drummer also.
Yeah. That's the clip I used for this, right? It sounded like a old Big Butch Hotline joint, just the way the sound was on that clip.
Yeah.
It was dirty, but it was, man, that was that shit right there. I was like,
damn. It was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was wondering, was that Mickey? I thought it was Lil Mickey. He was like on the bell, right?
Yeah, Lil Mickey was on the timbales, and then Lonnie was over here on the bells. They both were playing. He was playing the pads, backing the pads up, and he was on the timbales.
Yeah, that clip was cranking like a mug. That was cranking like, yeah. I was wondering where that was at.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I talked to Curtis, man. I said, let me, try and do something with y'all. And we never spoke again, but I got to reach back out. And hopefully, maybe we could do something together. But I think that's a good idea. Nick talk about that a lot, like doing a percussion album. But even a collaborative with y'all, that's tight because y'all, like you said, there's a chemistry there. So that'll be, I think that'll be a good joint to do.
And then also Karis has a song, or she made a song up about me. It's a Lil Boogie song that we did for a minute, and that went viral on Instagram. We was at Bethesda Blues, and she do want to do a record out, on that song that we did. It's me. She likes to do it at shows a lot, but I be like this. I don't feel like doing no solo.
Right.
But it's me, soloing. But she made the song up. It's really, really nice, and everybody loves the song. So
yeah, I like that concept. Yeah, I should record that. Just record it live and just look. Give me 8 bars because it's like we song structure in this joint, so we making it 4 minutes. Just give me 8 bars. Let me do. Yeah. You got to work out too much. That's a good idea. I think. That's all right. But that's about it, man. This has been good. I gotta come check y'all out. Where do y'all play? Where can people reach you on, social media? You know what I'm saying? How can they get at you? And what days do y'all play? Y'all got, any set days?
So we had the big Tyson Corner show coming up. That Tyson Corner joint that's outside the A-list promoter. He's always throwing that big show every year. That's in June. Then we play with Junkyard coming up in June. Twice. And then we have a show with Scooby and them coming up in June. I don't know the exact dates. I'm just telling you.
Right.
And then I know we're back down at the barbecue battle, the Giants barbecue battle downtown. That's every year. And it's always 100 degrees outside. But we back out there this year. So piano keys, every second Thursday of the month. I'm always forget. So piano keys. So we'll be back out there in June also. The second Thursday of the month.
Do you I just thought about the you did like the Black Girl Rock, like the BET, a couple times BelaDona been on award shows and TV, like you've been on a couple of them, right?
Right. Are you talking about the one we did with MC Light? That's around the COVID when we went to LA. We did that one. Yeah, we did a few of them.
Yeah. How are those shows? How do you feel? Being at live TV, and the pressure. Like, is it like more pressure? And then how y'all received? You know what I'm saying? Even walking in the building, like, because it's when you hear people know you and boop, 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 boop. And sometimes when you're outside, you'll think people don't know you, but sometimes they even know you and give you more love. So how are those experiences when y'all do that type of venue?
So the one when we went to LA with MC Light is the one who invited us. It was like she was like in the band with us. She treated us like her sisters. It was cool. Like, and then we wasn't pressured or under pressure. It was just like, okay, let's rehearse sound check, and we did sound check with her. And Tatiana Ali, she was out there with us because she had to rehearse with us, and it was just like we just were like sisters, like we all knew each other. We were in a group, like they were in a group with us.
Right. Just another day at the job.
Right. So it was like no difference. They didn't treat us any different. They didn't act like all snooty or anything like that. It was just like Bella's in the house. That's what they'll say, and
Right.
And then we do our rehearsal, sound check, and it was cool.
They give you the green room where you come in and say BelaDona on the door.
Yes, we always get a green room to say BelaDona, and
yeah.
LA, like we had our own rooms individually by ourselves. They didn't put us in like two to a room and nothing like that. We all had our own rooms. I mean, they paid for everything. It was wonderful.
For damn, y'all had 8 rooms. I mean, each band, right? Because y'all grown. Look, they used to put us 2 to a room, But that BelaDona rider hit different. Like, nah, Slim, you know. But nah, I just you know, wanted some perspective on that side of it from you, because a lot of these bands that we're talking about, that country club, me and my man Sean called it the country club, and like people just want to come and perform and have their drinks and get their little action, even at 48 and 55, going home. And you know, some people take it seriously enough, and that's fine. But I'm just saying, for the ones who may not have had that type of experience on those national type of shows where you get that green room,
but
and travel.
Even when Kathy Hughes had us for her birthday party, that was 2 years ago. She booked us in the Bahamas for her birthday. You know Kathy Hughes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she booked us an After 7 band, which is Babyface brother and all that. Yeah, she booked us. Now we were 2 room there, but we was on a big resort that she put us on. It was wonderful. We were catered to and everything. I mean, it was wonderful. And we played for her birthday party. We came in. It was so many. Teddy Riley was in there and everything when we performed and everything. And they loved us. And it was just like they were down to earth. It wasn't like no snooty stuff that people think or bougie stuff that people think.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like Bella's in the house. That's what I'm saying. Every time we got Bella's in the house, and it was real cool. But yeah, she wanted us to play for her birthday party. She booked us out Bahamas, and we played, you know, and After 7. I was amazed at, wow. I was like, we're playing with After 7, you know. They opened up the show, and then we played like the after party, and everybody after they seen After 7, they came in to see us, the after party band. So
yeah, y'all.
It was really nice.
Y'all doing y'all thing. Yeah, that's the cool part, to, you know, be able to travel and you know, and get that love. And you know, everybody say we gotta go national and we gotta make it big, you know, but it's been around the world and back. It's global. It's just, you know, like you got Kathy Hughes, you got people, the king and queen that called still familiar over there in Africa and Black Island. You know, you got people that will, you know, fly go in. So I think that's a beautiful part of it. And a lot of us are older, so it's gonna be hard to go on a 6-month tour, you know, continuously. But those dates, or maybe a couple here and there, I think are a beautiful experience, you know, to experience that music can take you places, you know. So just wanted your perspective on that. But all right, yeah, what could they find you on Instagram? And you know, if you want them to find you, I don't know, you know, if you low key.
No, so my Instagram is Lil Boogie. My Facebook is my real name, Natasha Proctor, because somebody hacked my Lil Boogie page a long time ago. But when you go into Natasha Proctor, it comes on, you'll see Lil Boogie on there too. I got a TikTok now. I just started TikTok. So my fan base is going up. But that's Lil Boogie too. And then I have my book, if you don't see the background here, Queens of Percussion, buy my book on Amazon.
I was trying to see what that said. Definitely show that jump clear. We gotta let the people know.
Hold on. Can you see that?
Yeah. A melodic memoir. Nice. Yeah. Hey, y'all got to go get that. The Queens of Percussion. I like that, man. I'm proud.
And that's on Amazon. It's still out. So
yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Well, all right, I appreciate you coming to holler at me. You know what I mean? So all y'all go follow Lil Boogie, and when y'all go out and y'all getting them clips, make sure y'all tag her. You know what I mean? Show the world how she be smacking. You know what I mean? And that's all love. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you, bro.
All right. I'm gonna talk to you.
So we have to link up and do something soon, musical wise. Seriously.
Definitely. I'm on it like a hornet. I'm about to make some music. I've been talking to everybody, and we excited. So definitely. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna play a little old Jonah, y'all. Pleasure on the sign off, and then I'm gonna hit you.
All right, thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Peace and love.
All right, you be safe.
All right, you too.
Bye.
All right, y'all. That was Lil Boogie. You understand? Formerly a Pleasure Band, and now of the good BelaDona Band. I had a couple clips queued up, so I said, well, you know, let me go ahead and play a little something so y'all can remember. You know what I mean? My lean up out of here. What I got? Hold up. This is Georgia Avenue Day, baby. Let me see. I think I gotta start playing it first. I'm gonna do it the right way. I'm gonna do it the right way today, y'all. I'm gonna do it the right way. I'm gonna do it the right way. Oh yeah. The good old days, y'all. Here she go. So I guess they call that the socket. Johnny baby. They're calling on her. All right, one more. One more. A little more up to date with that BelaDona Band. Yes, indeed. Get in there.
Come on. What's up, man? That's real cool. Things that they can do may not come clear through. My words may not convey just what I'm feeling, but I hope you recognize what's right before your eyes. That's where your heart should realize where give me the hard point. Baby, I'm trying to show you that I love you. Baby, I'm trying to tell you that. Baby, I'm trying to tell you that I need you.
BelaDona,
Baby, I'm
none of
trying
that.
to tell you that. Oh, that's right, yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
The sexy ladies of BelaDona, y'all. Ow.
You may not understand, just so I show my hand.
Y'all here.
Method to my madness, you inspire. Perception is the key. It's evidence you see. That's right. Oh, what this is about.
But yeah, y'all, I'm getting out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate everybody watching the Chief and Go live with Lil Boogie. You understand? Doing it for the culture. You know, we're going to keep it cranking. You understand? Tune in next week. I'll be talking to Sean from 46 Smoking Guns. Okay? If y'all know Sean, formerly known as Psycho, Sean used to come to the Go-Go and 46 Smoking Guns. You know, they was in there heavy, right? Later, Sean went on to manage Listen for a stint, and then went on to open the studio, a rehearsal spot called So Swag over there off Stamp Road. And that's when me and Sean kind of connected and really built build a rapport. And you know, we had just a lot of conversations about music, and we did a lot of building about the philosophy and where the music should be and how we felt it should be done, and all these things. So one of my good friends, man. So I wanted to bring him on so we can get his perspective of things. That's gonna be next Thursday, 8 o'clock. Appreciate all y'all for tuning in. See y'all next week. And that's about it, man. One love, y'all. One love. I'm out of here.
You can go.